Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. I am here. Garrett is over there. Look at that beautiful girl in the middle. Hello, Amy.
Hello.
How are you? You look
Good. How are
awesome,
you?
dude. I'm good.
Oh, thanks.
You look
Thanks for
super cute
saying that.
today. Yeah, is
I
that
was
okay to say?
having kind of an ugly day, so thanks for saying that.
Having an ugly day? Really? You?
Yeah. Yeah, I was like getting ready for this podcast. I'm like, oh, I've got to be on camera. I just feel like
Yeah.
blah, you know.
No,
But I did get my hair done today, so
I
that's
was going to say
probably
your hair
why.
looks great. Your
Yeah.
glasses look great.
Thank
Um,
you. Thank you.
yeah. Garrett, you look great too.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
I
No,
didn't just get off a
seriously.
9-hour shift at a blue collar job.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, and you're a dude, so it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
But with you, Amy, I mean, it's like it might be distracting today.
Well, I've kind of rolled on here looking scrubby the last few times, so
That's okay. That's all right.
Yeah.
There's
Just
something
not used to it.
there's something really cool about a cute girl who doesn't care and just goes, "I'm going sweatpants and a baseball hat."
Oh yeah,
Um,
that's just what I prefer all day, every day. I
I
hate
remember
getting dressed up.
I remember when I was dating Amy Hayes years ago, and like Saturday morning, she'd be in sweatpants and a white T-shirt and one of my baseball hats, and she'd be like, "Oh, we were gonna go to lunch or something," and she'd be like, "I got to do my hair, and I'm like, "No, you don't.
No,
No,
Yeah, I'd say
hell
that.
no.
that's like fucking way hotter like this. Like you don't give a shit. You're wearing a pair of sweatpants and a T-shirt. Like dude,
It
it's
was
the
so
best."
funny. My weed delivery person, this couple weeks ago, she came over and I had like my hair done, and she's like, "I don't think I've ever seen your hair done." And I'm like, I just must look like the most raggedy ass person every time
Yeah.
she delivers to me. Like just same sweat combo, probably. Like
Yeah.
my hair is never done.
Yeah. It's all right. It's cool. I mean, it's the way we should all be living. But anyways, happy New Year. It's good to see
Yeah,
you.
you
I haven't
too.
talked to you
I
since yeah.
I watched your sketch on Normal World today.
Oh yeah.
Actually. The one
What'd
that
you
did with
think?
Drew. It was funny. It was really funny.
Yeah,
And I
it's
loved
quick.
the show you guys were on, by the way. That was like when I saw you and Drew and Dave Landa, I was like, this is like my dream right here. Like
Ah.
I could listen to you guys all day long, every single day. Like you guys are just so good together. And it was super
Thank
fun
you.
to watch.
You know what? It's really hard to do. I'll
Is
be
it?
honest with you. Yeah, because there's a dynamic in a show where you know, like certain shows, some shows just don't give a shit and they just throw whatever. But Drew's a natural one. So he takes you in. I've always said the 2 seat, the one you're sitting in right now, is the hardest seat because you don't have any idea where I'm going and I kind of have a mental outline. And so you just kind of are stuck reacting. Garrett a lot of times is sitting in that seat. It's the hardest seat to sit in my opinion. And Dave is a 1 on his show, and I'm a 1 on this show. And so when you put all 3 of us in there, it's like Dave is such a good number 2. He's like one of the
Yeah.
best number 2s.
Yeah.
And so Drew and I are kind of looking at each other like, am I supposed to take the ball and run with it? Like it's just a weird.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
It's-
totally
I
get
was
it.
gonna say Dave's with Crowder and Kumia. He's got a good experience being like the perfect 2.
Well, he's just naturally good at that. Like it's a reaction thing. It's what made
Yeah.
Mike Clark so great is the timing of everything and
Yeah.
the spontaneity of it. Like it's better. Like I hated telling Jay what we were doing. It was like, no, just give me your natural response. But there's an outline for that show. And so you kind of know what stories, and then you don't end up getting to them all, but you kind of do. Should we watch the sketch? Angela sent it to me today, isolated, for those that didn't see it. And I can.
How
give
long
you guys
did it take you guys to record it?
A couple hours,
Okay.
actually. So we'll
And
watch
like, how
it
many times did you have to like re-record the scene, like these scenes?
50.
Really?
Yeah. I'll take you through it because I have the script here.
Oh boy.
So I'll show you guys how it went down. And if, by the way, if someone wants the script, I'd be glad to give it to whoever. I had everybody sign it.
Oh,
I'll take
So
it.
that's cool. I was just gonna
So-
say I want it.
you want it? Do you guys want it for real? One of
That's
you guys?
sweet.
What
Yeah.
How about you two fight over it, and then I'll give it
All
to
right.
whoever. But I had Drew sign it, I had Dave sign it, Angela signed it, and the director signed it, and the other.
That
And
is
it's
so
like,
cool.
yeah. So you can see how like Here, pull me back up. I might as well go through it. I'll show you real quick. How so it's funny because before we were going out there, I had texted Dave and I said, "Hey, Drew and I are going to end up staying a few extra days to fuck around in Dallas." We had talked about doing a show and Dave joined us. I didn't end up bothering him, but and Drew and I did that show. But I was like, "Dude, we're there." And so right before I left, like a day before I left, I was like, "Hey, by the way, Drew and I are going to be here. If you have a sketch or something, use us. Feel free to use us. You might as well. We're going to be in town." And 24 hours later, he was like, "I got a script, by the way, that I wrote last night for
Oh my God.
for you and Drew." And then he emailed me. So this is like the
It's
opening.
like a legit script.
Oh yeah,
Like in script font and like
Yeah.
script indentation. It's not like a half-ass
Yeah.
like Word doc or Google Doc or something. Like
no.
it's a legit script.
And it's all like exactly what you're gonna do. So why don't we watch it? We'll watch it and then we'll I'll tell you guys about it.
Right there.
Thank you to Angela for sending this. Isolated.
Whoa, it's McGarnagle. Hey, Mike. Thanks for coming in so early, man.
Yeah, man. Good to see you.
Hey, my pleasure, yo.
Vicky just gave us your props, so we're going to just set up some of your little skits, and off we go. We'll have a great time.
I know, it's not my first rodeo.
Hey, giddy up.
We're live in 5, 4, 3.
It's 10 o'clock, which means it's time for BJ and the Naked Guy.
Yeah, see.
And always with us is our Spoke Show producer.
That made me laugh.
Yeah. We're here with funny man Mike McGarnagle. God, let's say Mike McGarnagle. Mike will be performing at Keaton's Comedy Club on Grossbeck next to the abandoned bowling alley and the pile of burning tires. Mike!
Hey, yo, good to be here, dog.
Hey, I see that you just recorded a special for Netflix.
Yeah, I did. On my VCR.
Wait, I'm confused.
So, how's your drive-in, Mike McGarnagle?
Yo, I'm glad you brought that up. You gave me directions, and I couldn't even believe they were real. I had to get off on Big Beaver Road, which was also exit 69.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get a report for a traffic captor. There's been a horrific 22-car pileup on I-75 off of Big Beaver.
At exit 69.
People have died.
I understand the accident was caused by a bus driver.
Yo, if it was a short bus, nobody was really hurt, right? Yeah.
My son has special needs. Piece of
We're
shit.
live, booming on bike. You're a big Lions fan, Mike McGarnagle?
Oh, yeah, dog. I love the Lions. I go every Sunday and tailgate. You get there early enough, you can coach.
They're good now, right?
So where can we find more of you, Mike McGarnagle?
Yo, I'm on Friendster, and you can go to century21.com/funnyrealtor.
Van Halen, Running with the Devil with BJ and the Naked Guy.
There you go. Yeah,
That was good.
it's really cool. I love these quick hitters. I'm glad they didn't give me too many lines. It's a lot harder than I thought.
You did a really good job.
Oh, thanks. I didn't have much to do. It was pretty simple, but
Dude,
yeah.
you've got to watch the one that he does later in the episode with Trump and Fetterman.
Oh, I saw that.
Oh my God.
The Fetterman?
The Fetterman?
Yeah.
I was laughing so hard.
Yeah.
I don't know how they got through that.
Yeah. Who was that playing Fetterman, by the way?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Like, I don't think that was Quarter Black, and it
No,
wasn't.
it wasn't.
It
got it
wasn't.
right here.
What's
They
that?
uploaded it 2 hours ago. I got it right here.
Do you want to play it?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
just play it so you can see what Fetterman looks like.
I mean, it's pretty rough.
Thank you, John, for making it all the way here from the great state
of Pennsylvania. Wonderful state. A lot of Amish. There's also John DuPont. Shot a man with a gun. Very sad. Very sad. Absolutely, John. Absolutely. Absolutely. You're a fascinating man, John. You have a lovely wife. She's very Hispanic. Very Hispanic wife.
Rocky Road?
John, you're a fascinating man. And you're gonna live with me now.
With Trump?
Yes. Trump
All right, good enough.
loves
Dude.
Yeah,
John.
yeah, you get the idea.
Yeah.
Him wearing a Superman outfit with Robin logo, like so good,
So good.
so good.
And those teeth, oh my god. I just
Those
don't I
teeth,
don't
the
I don't
cap.
know how they got through that.
Yeah, I don't either. It's funny too because I've never really done those. I've acted in like Cliff Notes theater and stuff. But being on camera and the way they shoot it, like they'll set up 3 cameras and film it all, and and then they'll go through like literally line by line and move cameras around, and so just to get reaction shots, get you saying it from different angles. Like there's a whole process to it, but it was funny. Dave like stays in character while he's sitting there, and so he's looking at me like he's giving me that look the whole time, and I'm like, I fucked up the line or something. I think I fucked up.
Right.
And then he starts laughing his ass off, and it took me a while to realize, oh, he's just staying in that character of like
Right.
he's giving that confused look, like, did you just fuck that line up? But he's not.
Right.
He's in the comic. Like
Funny.
they're really good. And Angela's in the background. She's on her laptop the whole time, doing other stuff, working on other stuff, and then we just
That oh my god, when I saw that I was like just busted out laughing. I was like,
Yeah.
that is hysterical.
Dave is so good. I think Angela is the unsung hero on that show. Literally every time she opens her mouth, I'm like, this chick is fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
She's
yeah, she
so
seems cool.
good in those sketches. She's so strong. And, it goes without saying, Dave is obviously the star of all of it. They just do a really good job. Do you have any of the pictures I sent you, Garrett? Were you able to get any of those?
No, none of them came through. I don't have
No?
an email.
I think I texted them to you. Anyways, I took a bunch of pictures in the studio while we were doing it because that was Glenn Beck's studio.
Oh,
Where-
okay.
So I took a bunch of pictures in there of like the fucking wall mural of Glenn and the microphones. There's like an iPad in there that is as big as your desk. That's like one of one. Apple must have made it for Glenn
Right.
to do. It's pretty cool, but I'll send this to whoever.
That is so neat.
Yeah, it's
And
kinda
cool that you got to go down there with Drew. Or be there at the same
Yeah.
time with Drew. That's fun.
Totally agree. It was when David said that, I was like, yeah, good luck. Because I'll go, but Drew
Yeah,
just
I mean,
he just doesn't do. But
doesn't
he-
strike me as someone that's doing a ton of traveling.
No. And Drew's philosophy, and I told him that over the weekend, and I learned a lot from it. I get it now. I was telling him over the weekend how, dude, for the first time in my life, I get it. Like when Mark and I would get all upset or something, like, God, they want us to be at the State Theater and broadcast live, and Drew doesn't want to do it. And I'd be like, what the fuck, man? How cool to go hang out. Like, because for me and Mark, it's easy. We get to hang out and be big shots for a few hours. But for Drew, he's got to put on a show. He's got to think about the audience, who can hear, who can't.
Yeah.
Like there's all kinds, there are elements out of your control. And so Drew his famous quote to me was, why leave the studio when I can sit in here and bat 1,000? And I totally get it now. Like it's just a lot harder. It's so much easier to sit here and just focus on you guys and what we're going to do right now and not all the outside elements of putting something together. And so, it makes sense. But Drew was fired up, man. He loved going down there. He loved doing the show and seeing, the whole operation down there. It's really cool. And I agree. Those sketches are
So
fucking
funny.
awesome.
Yeah, they're
So
great.
good.
They're great.
Lot to get to today. We'll get to California fires and some of the nomination stuff, but why don't we start with the Lions? We might as well. You've got the sweatshirt. I've got the sweatshirt. And dude, I've never been more bummed to not be like of all my
I
whole
know
life
of
I've been
all
in Detroit.
right.
And it's like, here I am in goddamn Phoenix. And,
Right.
And it's like, I know. I talked forever. Like you thought it was impressive in 97 with the Wings and how the city reacted. Wait,
Yeah.
if it ever happens with the Lions, I can only imagine what it's like there.
Dude. And I mean, I don't know. You might be able to harken back to prior episodes. Either, I don't know if I said it on this show, but I definitely said it on Eric's show that very early in the year, at the very beginning of the season, I booked a room for Saturday and Sunday downtown Detroit for the Super Bowl. Because I was like, I'm going to get it while the room's cheap. Got a room at MGM.
Yeah.
If it doesn't work out, I'll cancel it. But I am going to be in Detroit with the
Yeah.
rest of the people when they go to the Super Bowl, because that shit is going to be crazy.
Yeah.
And if they win, oh my goodness.
Have you,
gracious.
would you go to the Super Bowl?
No, I think, honestly, I think that this is going to be like one of the most expensive Super Bowls ever.
Yeah.
If the Lions are in it, it will be the most expensive Super Bowl ever. And honestly, like, as much as I would love to listen, if somebody was like, "Hey, you want to go to the Super Bowl?" I would go. But I also, there's something about like just being in Detroit with everybody that can't go to the Super Bowl and just like partying all fucking night when they win. That sounds a lot more fun to me.
Yeah, it's going to be I can only imagine what the city's like now. I remember, I was in California at Christmas and I got this sweatshirt for Christmas. I got a fucking mug and a hat. Like my mom she's
Oh yeah, the merch must have gone crazy at Christmas. I mean, we all got Lion shit for Christmas.
She's like, it's sold out you can't get it.
Yeah.
You can't even get Detroit
Well, I
Lions
mean, you
merch.
can here, but
She said around there, it's hard to get.
I have a Rally House that's like at the corner, and they have Rally. Have you ever been into a Rally House?
What is a Rally House?
It is like all the sports.
Oh yeah, like, do they do Michigan State?
They do Michigan State, Red Wings. I mean, they
Yeah.
do Central, Eastern, Western, like Tigers, Lions. I mean, it is. I went there on Christmas Eve. There were so many people in there buying just like last minute gifts. Yeah. Everybody's pumped. Like, this is like the time where people like, you're out getting gas and people are just like, go Lions, just like randomly. It's so awesome. We're one game away from the NFC Championship.
I know. 2 years in a row. It's going to be, but I can't wait. Drew was so bummed. He's like, I just wish there was a game. You think of these guys like robots or something like, wow, we don't get a game this weekend. It's like, yeah, I know, but it's so much better that they get a week off.
Right. Yeah. I
need,
saw somebody on ESPN was like, congrats to the Lions and the Chiefs on their win this week. Like, they both got a win and both are advancing. I'm like, yeah, they did technically get a win.
Yeah.
They just didn't have to do anything.
Yeah.
And I will be at the NFC Championship if and when they're there.
Yeah. Do you already have tickets for?
I do.
You're going.
Yeah.
Are you going this week? Do you have season tickets?
Yeah, I do. But I gave the ones on Saturday to a client. Figured give them to a client this time around. I'm reserving them for the NFC Championship.
Yeah. Smart. Well, the divisional round matchups are all set now, obviously, and ticket prices for the game at Ford Field are through the roof. So that's going to be obviously Lions and Redskins. And Jaden Daniels coming to town. He's going to win rookie offensive player of the year.
I think you should, yeah.
It was revealed on TickPick. The average purchase price for the game is $981.
Wow.
Making it the most expensive game in the site's history, excluding Super Bowls. Lowest game in price for the Detroit Redskins game is reaching close to $460 on Vivid Seats. Cheapest tickets on SeatGeek are $531, TickPick $588, StubHub $600. The most expensive seat can be found on Vivid Seats, where you can get down in section lower level 128, $6,105.
Oh my God.
One ticket. So that's not even, that's between the 30 and 40 yard line. If you're looking at the seating chart for Ford Field, 128 is somewhere between great seats.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know.
It's insane.
Who's going to pay $6,000 for $6,000 for a divisional round? That's
when you've got fuck you money, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, it's a different
True.
level. I was
Yeah.
thinking about it right here. Like in my head, I was like, that's more than I paid for my car. But that's just throwaway money to somebody else around here.
Totally.
It kind of sucks though, because Super Bowls historically the fan bases cannot afford to go to those.
Yeah,
And those were, starting at a couple $1,000s a ticket. I know players can from all over the league, by the way, like every player in the NFL gets access to those. So even I remember back in the day, Lions players could get those for a couple grand a seat face value. And there's a couple thousand players, I think, in the NFL. So, not all of them do, but I'm sure they give them to family members to sell.
Yeah. And I mean,
there's
I'm
that
sure
kind of stuff.
suites are probably over like 7 figures for the Super Bowl, right? I mean, they have to be
Could be
$1 million, right?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know what they go for, but with the Lions, like this was always the thing. Like, unless you're from that area, you don't really understand what sports mean in these Midwest markets. Like you get a Detroit Lions fan base, like it's gonna fucking like, oh, you think it's impressive? Rams fans, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it's not the same thing.
Yeah. Or like, people on Twitter will be like, oh, well, the Jets are just as bad as the Lions, or the so-and-so are just, and I'm like, listen here. Like, maybe now they're as bad as the Lions used to be, but like historically, nobody is as bad as the Lions.
Yeah, maybe Cleveland.
Cleveland is a
Cleveland
close
had
second.
some,
and they're not on the way up either. So.
No. What's his name blowing his other Achilles? Yeah. I mean, that's just like God, like going, oh, you think you're coming back? Blink. Let me take that other Achilles. I mean,
100%. And that just has to go down as one of the worst signing contracts in all of sports. Guaranteed. And he played like half a season and he was shit.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's cool because it didn't, like the rest of the league didn't. Usually it's like it resets the table and now this is the new norm.
Right.
No, not
everybody around the league was like, well, that was fucking stupid.
Yep.
Like, that's not going to work. It like, and then on Twitter today, or X, I saw, and I knew this, but when you see it written down, it's even crazier. But when you talk about bad signings versus good signings or trades, the Lions-Rams trade, at the end of the day, we gave away Matthew Stafford. That's all the Rams got. We got Jared Goff, Jahmyr Gibbs, Sam Laporta, Jamison Williams, Melifonwu, and Josh Paschal and Broderick Martin.
Yeah.
Those are insane names that we got for that. Like that has to go down as one of the best trades of all time for both teams.
Yeah, it probably will. I don't know. The Dallas Cowboys trade of Herschel Walker to Minnesota, I think led to Michael Irvin and Emmitt Smith. I think that was how that came about, the triplets. But yeah, this is one of those trades where you're just like, holy shit. You fast forwarded the progress 2-3 years. And like
they actually
in one
drafted well. Like, what a relief.
It's everything.
What a relief.
It's reset the league. It's what the Lions are doing. It was so fun to watch Minnesota. It was adorable watching them not take 3 points and go for it. Like, we're going to play big boy. Like, dude, this is 3 years in the making to be able to do this on the regular basis.
Yep. And you see it a lot more now in the league, people going for it on fourth down, and it doesn't work as often. And it's like, this is why you do it every time, because then when you go for it, people just know you're going to go for it and you're probably going to get it. Like when you only do it every once in a while, it's like a trick play, and it's like, who knows if it's going to work or not. Yeah.
It's so fun to see. It's
love it.
So exciting. Go into the tickets. Each of the top 3 most expensive non-Super Bowl NFL games all played at Ford Field.
Wow.
Think about that.
That's crazy.
Saturday's game topped last season's most expensive divisional round game between the Lions and Buccaneers, which were $948 a ticket. That was at the number 1 spot. The Lions wild card game against the Rams last year was $694 in third place. So yeah, Detroit hasn't faced the Redskins since 2022. And then, you guys weren't born or aren't old enough to know 91. That still sticks in my craw. That championship game in 91, getting our asses kicked. I think we threw a pick six on like the 5-yard line, 41-10 ass whooping. I want payback for that.
Yeah, I have a feeling that's coming.
There's so many people I'm seeing out there saying stuff like, "Oh God, I would not want to face this hot Redskins team with Jaden Daniels," or boy, oh boy, would not want to face this Rams team right now.
Yeah.
Fuck out of here.
Yeah. No. You would want to know who I wouldn't want to see? The team that was 15-2. That's the team that I would, or 16-2, however many fucking games they play now. That's the team I wouldn't want to see.
Yeah, those teams are also saying I wouldn't want to see, and that ends with Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions, I know you've been watching football forever. Garrett, you have not, but I have been watching every fucking play of this franchise my whole life. And I'm telling you, and you see it, they're the best team in football. What they're doing now, I've been saying it since probably week 3. Like, this is one of those. Like, enjoy this, folks. They're as good as anybody. Like, Buffalo's a problem.
Yeah.
You always
is a problem.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson. You always worry about Lamar Jackson. I don't worry about Kansas City.
Me either. I would rather see the Chiefs than the Bills or the Ravens.
Yeah, the Bills and Ravens are the ones. The Eagles don't scare me. The Redskins don't scare me.
I'll tell you, my mind playing out all the scenarios.
Yeah.
Couldn't help but think of if the Rams beat the Eagles and all that's standing in between us and a Super Bowl is Matthew Stafford.
Yeah.
I will and his stupid wife, who's always saying dumb shit. Like, I don't think I can handle it. I don't think my heart can handle it. Because what if he was the one that sent us home?
Dude, I have picked this weekend the Rams beating the Eagles. I think the Rams are better than the Eagles. I think the Rams beat the Eagles, and then you're playing the Rams in a title game. And
that would be so crazy. I don't think I can handle that.
No.
I honestly, I don't think I can handle that. It has to be the Eagles.
Devastating. Like, if you got to the championship game and Matt Stafford, believe me, if Matt Stafford, of all people on earth, if Matt Stafford was to come into Ford Field and knock the Lions out of contention, like,
oh my God,
dude, he
would be public enemy number 1 for life in Detroit.
For life. Protection on the way out of the
you'd need protection. I'm not even kidding. Yeah. Like, you would need like bulked up security, probably coming into the stadium and leaving. Like, you can't fuck with people's emotions that hard. Like, that would be
that would be some fucked up shit.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine? And what would be worse? I think it'd be worse if he did one of those 1:30 left, no timeouts, and drove the lane, like a blowout. And you're just like, okay, whatever. But one of those Matt Stafford, 36 seconds left on the clock, you need a field goal, and
dude,
we
need to just hope it's the Eagles, because my little heart can't handle that. That is going to be
honestly. What would you rather see though? Like, the Eagles, fine. Eagles, but the Rams, like, just fucking cementing that. Like, nice try, dude. Coming in here, you think you're going to take out this Lion squad? Not a chance.
That would be. I mean, ESPN is like jerking off to the thought of that storyline all week going into the NFC Championship.
Yeah, that'd be one of the biggest storylines in the history of the league. You realize that?
Oh my God!
Like, that would be up there with some of the, when you think of Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, like that matchup with him coming back to Detroit that he literally carried for a decade. I mean, let's be honest. Matt Stafford did everything he could to carry that franchise for 10 years.
For sure.
Like,
He's the only reason we ever we're winning games because he was keeping us in them.
Right.
But like the last year, the game against the Rams, during warm-ups, it was so loud in there. Like you could not the boos when Stafford was on the field. I mean, and I went to both. I went to the Bucks game and I went to the Rams game. The Rams game, it was so loud in there.
Yeah.
So loud in there. I can't even imagine what it would be like with Stafford coming in for an NFC championship.
Well, I can't imagine. Like, I've been in that building when it's been loud. I can't even imagine what's going on at Ford Field right now.
It's the craziest. It's so you can't even, and you can kind of hear it on TV. Like when you hear them, like, doing their intro shit, like you can hear it kind of in the background, and you're like, I don't usually hear that when I'm watching games, so, but it's loud. It's a crazy atmosphere. The Lions do a really good job with like their crowd, and they give everybody those glow bracelets that like work with the music and everything. So like, those are flashing and the lights are off, and it's pretty fucking cool. Yeah.
Well, you can hear it on TV. I was paying attention. There were moments in the 49ers Lions game that I went to, the Monday night game a few weeks ago, where the crowd was into it. They, and I was telling anyone who would listen, because my whole family, my dad is, Niners till he dies. And he's like, oh, the Lions are going in there and they're going to fucking soul crushingly stomp this team. And I'm like, no, they're like this is a proud franchise in San Francisco. These fans don't give a shit about a draft pick. They're not a lowly franchise. It's like, oh, we lose out, we get a better like, no.
Right.
They wanted pride was on the line in that game, and they wanted to be the team that goes, we were good, we got unlucky, we're gonna beat the fucking eventual Super Bowl champs. And we'll at least have that. Like, there was no way. And so that crowd got a little loud at times, and the fans are rabid. But I can't even imagine what Ford Field is like.
Honestly,
it's got to be bananas in there.
It's when the defense is on the field, it's so loud in there. I mean, they're constantly causing false start penalties. But in that San Francisco game, at one point, I said to Rocky, I was like, it almost sounds like, because San Francisco was on the field, and it was kind of loud in there. Like, it sounded like there were quite a few Lions fans.
Yeah. Oh, there were.
Yeah.
And the Jared Goff chants throughout the whole game. It was so like, I would take a piss at halftime in the bathroom line in the men's room, and some guy walks in, he's Jared Goff, and the whole place starts, and the Niners fans aren't having it. They're like, sucks dick, sucks cock. They're just screaming right back at him, going back. It was cool to see. It was a lot of fun. It's going to be, I can't, I know how you feel. I'm so excited for this weekend. I think this is,
I wish I could go to sleep until then.
Yeah. Yeah. And so that game will be Saturday night at 8, primetime game. What a weekend, though. Houston Texans, Kansas City. They're like, yeah, get that garbage out of the way. And then the real weekend starts with Lions, Redskins at 8:00 on Saturday. And then Sunday, Rams, Eagles. I can't wait for that game. And then fucking Ravens, Bills.
That'll
Sunday
be
night. Like,
game.
Who do you want to win that one, Ravens or Bills? Do you want Josh Allen out, or do you want Lamar out? One of them is going to be out. So
I know. I'm so torn. The Bills have already beat our ass this year, so I have to imagine we'd make some adjustments and like be able to maybe figure it out. We did sort of come back at the end of that game. So like if we had a little healthier defense, I think we could play better against them. The Ravens, though, I just feel like Lamar Jackson fucks us up every time. Every time we play the Ravens, they blow us out like 52-0. Like it's always an ass beating.
I think, and I said this at the time, I think it was better for the Lions to lose to the Bills when they did. Like in the small, that game didn't really mean much. In the end, it plays out. It doesn't mean much. We lost some key players in that game, but those guys saying like you learn more in a loss than you do a win.
Mhm.
It's like, okay, if you have to circle back and play these guys again, even if it's just small, if it's
Yeah.
a small thing that you take away getting more out of a loss than a win, you know,
Yeah. Yeah. I
like,
think I'd rather see Josh Allen go on.
yeah,
honestly.
dude, I have buddies that are big Lions fans that are like, I want the Bills.
Yeah.
I want the fucking Bills of
And honestly,
anyone.
those Lions Super Bowl would be so awesome.
Yeah.
It's just like two kind of downtrodden franchises that have been trying. They've won some, unlike us, but like
Yeah.
just like kind of blue collar
Yeah.
franchises that historically haven't been the best. That would be a cool Super Bowl.
Texans would be the worst, even though it'd probably be the one. If Lions fans are being honest, you'd rather see the Houston Texans, and they're
No,
still
yeah.
in the tournament.
Yeah.
That wouldn't scare me at all, but that would
Did
be
we
the
beat them
least.
this year?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Last second field goal. That's the one where on Twitter they showed the chick on the plane making the announcement right as Faith was going to kick the field goal to win it.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, no.
No.
And she's like, all right, all right. She stopped talking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that was that Texans. Was that a Thursday night or a Sunday night game or something like that?
Yeah. Yeah. I think so.
But it was close.
Mm-hmm.
Close. Came down to a long field goal to win it. Did you see the Packers Eagles dust up with the fan?
Yes, I did.
We've got two Green Bay Packers fans. This is common, dressed up in all their Packers gear, harassed by an Eagles fan. They're speaking out now about what happened. Alex Bassara, and that was his fiance, his unfianced, Allie Keller, attended that game at Lincoln Financial on Sunday. They said 99% of Eagles fans were playful banter, the normal. I've been to 20 plus stadiums. It's normally like that. Eagles is a bit more harsh sometimes, but all in playful fun. They'll say things to you, but then they'll shake your hand. Have a good time in the stadium. I know there's been lots of talk about Eagles fans for the year. Do we have the video, Garrett?
Yeah, I got right here.
Why don't we play that?
They got one more yard though. They're close. Yeah, but we're not in. It's not a touchdown. Yeah. So you don't chirp up, come in the air. Okay, well, don't call her a dumb cunt. She's an ugly dumb cunt. Cool. Into the third quarter. Yup.
All right.
No
All
more
right.
job for you, sir.
Yeah, he's gone now. So she said, he said something like, he went on to say when he was in third grade, his teacher taught him to have a great attitude. The guy that called her a dumb cunt said this to her. And so he was like, yeah, you should have a good time. Not shit. And so the Packers fan said to him, the Eagles fan said to them, hey, you having a great time? And he's like, not that great because of this guy's attitude. And he was saying, he told the Packers fans, hey, you should have better attitudes. You know, he went on to say when he was in third grade, his teacher taught him to have a great attitude. He was just going on and on. So I turned around because I kind of had enough at this point. Well, maybe you should go back to third grade then because it seems like you're the one with a bad attitude. Blah, blah, blah. He then insulted her. Actually, you're not even good looking enough for me to talk to you, is what the Eagles fan said to the Packer. And then I said, what does that mean? You know what that means. Have you looked in the mirror? Yeah, but I'm a man. I'm allowed to be ugly. You're a woman. It's kind of a fair point. So that's how the ugly, dumb cunt part came about.
Dude.
This guy, though, he said in third grade he learned how to treat people right and talk right. He's getting called out real quick. He's been calling people faggot a lot on Twitter.
Okay.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, I got
word.
some tweets from him. Get a fucking life, faggot. Haha, you're a faggot.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah.
Looks like both of you are going down today.
Spokesman for the Eagles said the incident has been addressed and the fan who harassed Barasa and Keller won't be allowed to attend any future events at Lincoln Financial Field. A lot of stadiums do this. They've done this for decades. You're banned for life from, we've seen malls do that. You shoplift something at the mall, you're banned for life. How do they enforce that?
Someone said they have like facial recognition and stuff now.
Yeah,
At
I wonder
entrances.
if that would work. If
I
you
don't
like, if
know.
you just, if you act, threw on a mask or, the hat and some sunglasses
No, it
and
works.
walked in, would they ever know? I mean, I
Yeah,
always
I
think
mean,
like,
that's the thing. Yeah, like
I
how do
feel like I
you
could.
can't even just be like a guest of somebody's, like how are you gonna, I can understand maybe like you can't purchase tickets with your name, but I mean,
Yeah,
how do they police you just going there, like you said, in a hoodie and a mask?
yeah. I feel like if I was to get thrown out, banned for life from going into a stadium, I could weasel my way back in.
Yeah,
I,
yeah,
I, I honestly, I feel like I could pull that off. That wouldn't be that
I
hard.
think so too.
I don't think anyone takes their job that seriously these
Well,
days.
that's the
Do
other
you know what I
thing
mean?
too. Yeah,
Like,
like if I worked there, I would never be like, "Hey, aren't you on
yeah,
the banned list?" Like I just would be like,
yeah,
"All right,
yeah,
Oh,
score 1 for the
yeah. The band
delinquent
guy.
band." Yeah.
Yeah, you'd be rooting for him. Like, like,
Yeah.
like you think
Yeah.
about. You think about the ticket taker.
Yeah.
It's always a scuffle, and there's always a.
Yeah.
It's like really you're keeping an eagle eye out. Look for you'd need someone to narc on you.
Mhm.
That's how that would go. Look, you're not going to believe Bassar is here again.
Right.
Like that's the
Yeah.
only way I think you would get busted in that situation. But
Yeah.
they do say that. I feel the same way about malls. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, okay, I stole something from Hot Topic when I was 13, and now I'm
yeah.
banned for life. Like, you're never going to
Right.
enforce
I,
that.
I have
No
a friend
way.
who used to do security for Laurel Park, and he actually knows how the whole ban list there works. It's literally just a bunch of pieces of paper that he can go through if he feels like and maybe match a face up. But if you don't look like the photo he has, he doesn't care.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
See,
mostly
that
just so they
seems
can
like
throw like an extra charge at you when they call the cops if you're being a hooligan or something. They're like, we banned him before, so they can say it's a trespassing charge too.
Mm.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That would make sense. That if it came back around and you got in trouble again,
Yeah.
they
It's
could
an
say he
extra
was
Did you hear-
trespassing.
Did you hear Drew's interview with the fan that got into the fight with LaFleur on the
At the
on the
Packers?
field before the Packers game?
No.
So
it good?
Drew talked to the guy. So the Lions, like took his tickets away for that.
Yeah.
But they told him, I think like he could work back to getting them back if he had to take a course put on by the NFL, like how to act at a stadium basically, but it's like it's commissioned by the NFL. So presumably they do this all the time with unruly fans. They have to take this course in order to go back. So the guy took the course, and I just saw a picture of him last week or something on social media. He he printed out his completion certificate from the course and he made it into a t-shirt.
That's hilarious.
I know.
Yeah. Didn't the Lions get mad at Isis at one point back when he was a fake fan?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I know-
He told, like, we don't want your kind, basically.
Yeah. He was all mad about Matt Millen or something, and they were like,
yeah.
"Good, we don't want you as a
Yeah.
fan anyways."
We've been
Face
looking
painting
for a
weirdo.
reason to get rid of you.
Yeah, people have been bitching about your sitting around you for years, sir.
Totally. That you don't shut up.
Yeah. By the way, I did see this on Twitter. Do you have the Twitter thing? And this sucks because I wouldn't doubt if this is true. I don't know if it is. It should be the Packers.
Yep. Right here.
Tweet. This wouldn't surprise me in the least, Amy, if we found out that this was true. Where it says,
he did, by the way, it came out. He did do a GoFundMe.
Okay, the Packers fan
paid for
who
it.
did a GoFundMe to pay for his tickets to a game with every intention of being bullied, and then filmed his wife getting bullied rather than intervening, and then launched a terrorist dox campaign, makes me ashamed to be a Packers fan.
He did. They doxed the guy immediately. The whole campaign was launched through him. He told every one of his fans, because he's already a YouTuber who goes to these games and films interactions, I guess. This is what I'm reading, just going down the thread.
Yeah.
And then it turns out that he was telling people, go dox this guy, fuck with him. I'm like, that's where you're going too far, dude. Let it lie.
Huh.
Yeah.
Boy, that's quite the plan. That's quite the plan. Like, how do you know you're going to sit by some dickhead?
Any sports area like that, if you're wearing the wrong jersey, they'll say some shit to you.
That's true. The Minnesota Vikings wives were bitching that the Lions fans hurt their feelings.
didn't Stafford's wife bitch about
Stafford's wife,
Yeah.
people were yelling at her kids. I'm like, no, they
Yes.
weren't.
I had so at the Lions Niners game, I was in the stadium wearing a Lions sweatshirt. And there were definitely some people. There was a father and a son sitting right next to my sister and I, who, like, dude, there were so many people, because I don't go to that many games. And I usually don't, most NFL games I've been to of late, I don't have a vested interest in. It's like I went to the Cardinals Buccaneers game. It's like, yeah, I'll go to a game at Tom Brady, whatever. I don't give a shit one way or the other. I'm not wearing team colors. My face isn't painted. So no one bothers you.
Yeah.
But when you go into an opposing stadium wearing the other gear, people are looking at you. And the Niners fans, which are kind of mild-mannered fans when you talk about fan bases in the NFL.
Yeah.
There were lots of people. Fuck you. I mean, with their kid, with a little kid. Fuck this faggot. Fuck you. You suck, faggot.
Oh my
Exactly.
God.
I mean, I'm just like, wow, this is in fucking Santa Clara, California. And they don't give a shit. One guy was dying to fuck with me. He was 3 rows in front of me, and he kept turning around like early and was pointing at me. Like he wanted the Niners to show up. And, the Lions quickly took handle of that game.
Yeah.
And so, it's hard to talk shit when your team's losing and the Lions are having playground football level fun out there.
Yeah.
Which is what that turned into.
Right.
But, but it wouldn't surprise me at all if that was true. And the only reason I brought it up is because everybody's doing a fucking version of a show now or a YouTube channel, and everybody's looking for content that gets them talked about. And if that means dressing up head to toe in Packers gear and going into the Eagles Stadium you're going to have people fuck with you, call you, like I heard
people going to boo you and
Yeah,
he's got a bunch of tweets going back where he purposely calls out fans before games and then goes to those games hoping for interactions.
So you're talking about the Packers fan, right?
Yeah, the
Not
Packers
the Eagles guy.
Yep.
So
Alex
the Packers
the
fan,
Packers guy.
Yeah. So what do you have an example of some of the stuff he's?
Yeah. That's what I was pulling up right here. It's right there. He's got all these bitch ass fans leaving earlier. I love the attempt of someone egging my house. Try it again tonight, bitch. No matter how much I dislike the Eagles, what a bitch move by Chris Baker. Remember when Patterson headbutted Crosby last game? Payback, bitch. Go Packers. He's very, very spicy tweeting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
and then he films his interactions at games.
So okay. So this does change things a little, doesn't it, Amy? Where you're like, okay, so
because he was probably talking shit too. It just wasn't on camera.
100%. And I don't have a problem with him talking shit. The only problem I have is now like, oh, this guy called my wife ugly, called her a cunt. Like, you don't get to be the wounded fucking helpless animal now.
Right.
Like, hey, you want to go in there talking all your shit and then someone talks shit back to you? Fine. I have no problem with that. I think it's inappropriate in every stadium when people are yelling, this guy's a fucking faggot. Like, it's just, it's uncalled for. Like, I'm never, like, they were killing the Niners kicker who missed, 20 straight kicks in a row to end the season. The Michigan kicker.
Moody.
And they're, you fucking suck. I mean, they're booing him out of the stadium. And it's like, that's just what fan bases do. It's like, if you went around and tried to ban every one of your fucking inappropriate fans, but this one, it seems like, okay, you went in there looking for trouble, you got it, and then now you get to go viral as a victim and, going on about, oh, there's rumor the Eagles are going to send me a bunch of Packers gear and I don't know if it's true. Like, he's looking for free shit.
Right.
And it sounds like he had to GoFundMe to even get his tickets.
Well, that was after he released that video. He put out a GoFundMe to go to another game.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, the next one's getting paid for by other fans.
Yeah. Well, what game? The fucking Packers aren't playing
they're done.
anymore.
Yeah. Hopefully it's preseason week 1 next year.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, just, is what it is. Have you seen any of the confirmation hearings?
Yes, I watched the majority of Pete Hegseth's.
So did I.
I watched mainly the Dems questioning him because that was where the entertainment came from,
Yep.
And my goodness gracious, I just gotta say, I don't think. Actually, I know I'm not a mature or grown enough person to sit there and take someone talking to me like those politicians talk to me. I would, or conversely, if that was my husband sitting there and I was sitting behind him and someone is going, didn't you cheat on wife number 2 and you had a baby and with wife number 3? And I would be like, excuse me, motherfucker.
Yeah.
It's just so like, someone said, I can't remember if it was Michael Knowles or who, but it's like, hey, you work for me.
Yeah.
You work for me. So why are you talking to me like that?
Yeah. Yeah. It's shameful. I think I totally agree with you about holding your composure. And Pete did a great job. Indeed, I wouldn't be able to do that. There's no way.
Just give me away.
There's no fucking way I'm going to sit and look at Elizabeth Warren and let her wag her finger as if I'm a bad person and not immediately go, you know what, bitch, I got into Harvard on my merits. I didn't get in there by pretending to be a minority. The fucking nerve of you. Sorry, everybody. Sorry. Like,
that would be my problem. I'm too snarky.
Yeah.
I go low.
Way too snarky. Yeah.
Tim Kaine was absolutely incredible. By the way, did he age 50 years overnight? What happened?
Yeah. And did he roll out of bed to go to that hearing?
Yeah.
I mean, that was Hillary's running mate. That was Hillary's run. You are associated with the Clintons, and you're sitting here talking about extramarital affairs being like a disqualifier.
Yeah.
Are you for real?
It's unbelievable. The line of questioning. Do we have the video of Tim Kaine just to show you what pieces of shit these people are? So here's Tim Kaine. Here's Tim Kaine 6 months ago with Doug Emhoff. Yeah, like, dude.
After his allegations.
Credibly accused of fucking smacking a chick, absolutely knocked up the babysitter while he was married. Like, just incredible. And he's a Clinton running mate. Like, of all people, he should just sit back and thank Pete for his service. And then don't vote to confirm him. Okay. No one expects anyone on the Democratic team to vote to confirm anyways.
Right.
But this bullshit here, go ahead and play it, Garrett.
Hey, folks. Tim Kaine here.
Second gentleman, Doug Emhoff here.
We are in Annandale, Virginia, where the Biden-Harris campaign just opened the first coordinated campaign office in Virginia.
Dorks.
And we are going to, win this election.
No, you're not.
Senator Kaine is going to go back to the Senate, and we're all going to do this thing together.
You had just fathered a child 2 months before by a woman that was not your wife. I am shocked that you would stand here and say you're completely cleared. Can you so casually cheat on a second wife and cheat on the mother of a child that had been born 2 months before, and you tell us you are completely cleared? How is that a complete clear?
Senator, her child's name is Gwendolyn Hope Hegseth, and she's a child of God, and she's 7 years old.
And she was, and you cheated on the mother of that child less than 2 months after that daughter was born, didn't you?
Hey, folks. Tim Kaine here.
Christ.
Yeah.
Did you see?
What's that?
No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I don't even think that was the worst part. Go ahead, Amy. What were you going to say? I bet you're going to say what I'm going to say.
I was going to ask if you saw Mark Wayne Mullen's response. I think his response was like, oh, we're going to talk about qualification. Want to know what it takes to be qualified to do this job? You have to basically be an American citizen. So, let's not talk about qualifications. Let's not talk about people being drunk when y'all roll up in here drunk to vote on the Senate floor every single time. There is literally Nancy Pelosi instituted an alcohol delivery service within the Capitol grounds.
Yeah, they have bar service. Yeah, essentially. And
they've got DoorDash for alcohol, basically.
Yeah, him pointing out are you going to try to tell me that you've never seen a senator drunk at night going to do a vote?
Yeah.
If you're even going to attempt to say that, I'm going to call you a liar because I know you've all seen it. this idea, I thought Senator Tim Kaine's line of questioning, I can't believe he even tried this. But the when did you stop beating your wife? Essentially, like
that was crazy. And they can say whatever they want.
Yeah. Yeah.
With no repercussions.
There should be repercussions, and hopefully there is with voting. At some point, people go, you know what, dude, you're just across the line. Do you ever beat your wife? And when you're dealing with a lawyer, the first rule is to never not know the answer to your question. So the fear is like, is there going to be some gotcha moment coming next where he pulls out, well, haha, you did beat your wife. Like, he's asking, do you ever beat your wife? And he's like, no, I've never beat my wife. He's like, but you would agree that somebody that did, that would be disqualifying, right? I mean, to your point, you can ask anything you want. Like, why stop there, sir?
Yeah.
You ever fuck a horse in the mouth? No? Oh, but you would agree that fucking a horse in the mouth would be disqualifying, right? Like, have you ever done Arabian goggles on a chick before, Pete? No, I don't know what that is. When you dangle your balls in her eye sockets, the Arabian goggles, you would agree that if you were engaging in that behavior, that would be disqualifying, right, Pete? Angry dragon,
no.
You ever come so hard in a chick's mouth that it shoots out her nose? The angry dragon. You would think if you cheated on your wife and did an angry dragon, that would disqualify you from confirmation, right, Pete? Like, what are you doing?
I know. And and like also the women that were on the Dem side.
Yeah, women in air quotes. I don't know that I'd call them women.
Like, if I were a politician and I were opposite them, I would just honestly, I think I'd probably be maybe a classier version of Marjorie Taylor Greene. Because like, I would not hold back, and I would be like challenging people to like, what the fuck are you going to do about it? Like, everything you just said was bullshit.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to.
Amy, it's why I've said for years to you in private, like, you're going to run for office somewhere and you'll do really well. Like, you'd do a good job because you're smart, you're quick. You would do a really good job. I think you'd be better than Marjorie. You know what I mean? Like, but no, she gets an unfair.
She's good. Yeah,
she gets an unfair rap. She really does.
Totally.
Just dismissed. The Lauren, who's the other one in Colorado?
Oh yeah,
Lauren Boebert.
Yeah.
You'd be as quick as them with the mouth, but you'd be a better person than them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think you'd do well. I just don't know if this is going to work. It's the problem I see with these. How full of shit it is when they're like, when they talk about, a threat to democracy. It's like Hitler, is going to be elected, and then you're shaking hands with him 2 days after winning.
Yeah, like yucking it up at the funeral.
Yeah. Exactly. Like it's like, do you believe anything you say, or you just say whatever?
Yeah.
Like that's the problem with these. Like, Tim, we know who you were running mates with, right? You know what their story is. Like, have you no shame at all?
Yeah, I know. It's so crazy.
And there's almost, this is the party that wants you to believe like, hey, just leave people alone. Who are you to judge if this guy wants to be in this kind of relationship and have 3 ways on the weekend? Like, who are you to judge? Like, that's the kind of vibe they give off all the time. And then yet at the same time, it's like, but there's no redemption allowed. That's the scary cult. Like,
yes, totally. Totally.
It's a religion without redemption.
Yes.
Feels like the whole woke DEI thing that we're seeing play out or have seen play out. It's that where it's like, you know what? They're used to, this is what used to make a good plot in a movie. Someone in the gutter, cheating on their wives, buried with needles in their arms, dig their way out of it. It's like the American story in a way.
Yeah. Yeah.
How far down in the shit can you be as a human being and then grow your way out, learn a valuable lesson, become a better person, and move on with your life?
Right. It's like also so surprising to me that like you know, when the Dems will be like, "Oh, Trump's a convicted felon, convicted felon, convicted
Mhm.
felon," and it's like, you people love convicted felons. You built a statue for Floyd.
Michael
Like,
Brown.
what are you even
Yeah,
saying
Floyd.
right now? Like, you love felons. So I would think that you would be thinking setting a new high for felons and giving them something
Yeah.
to aspire to, because you want to let them all out of jail. So like, to me, I would think that they would be like, a felon has accomplished the office of the president. Wow, that
Yeah.
is so impressive.
Yeah.
But that's
Yeah.
not it.
Anybody can turn their life around, and
Yeah.
you know, in this country, nothing's off the table.
Yeah.
He can become president of the United States. It's just, I don't think this is working.
It's so not
you know,
working.
This want it both ways kind of thing. It just sucks that it's not totally like, I have much more respect if you went, if someone was just like, look, man, I fucking hate everything about you. The fact that you were on the Fox News morning show, yucking it up with those clowns who policy wise I disagree with completely. And I don't want you in charge of as the Secretary of Defense. I yield my time.
Right.
Like,
yeah. Like, you
fine.
don't have to be like a defamatory asshole.
Yeah.
You know, like, to make your point, you just don't.
Yeah. This line of questioning of like, okay, we've established that there's a bunch of fucking unnamed people that have come out and been like, oh yeah, Pete was drunk every day. First off, I'll tell you right now, there's no fucking chance you're working on a morning show being drunk, hungover. Like, it just doesn't,
No.
like, you're on camera. If you wanted to try and pull that off, ask Zip at Drew and Zip how that goes coming in being shit-faced on a morning show. Okay.
Right. Right.
You like it just,
And like,
doesn't
nobody,
work.
none of the fans at some point were like, geez, Hexeth
Yeah.
sure looks a little wasted every morning. Like, he doesn't, you can pick up on that.
Yeah. You could
know?
maybe pull that off on small market radio.
Yeah.
You know, where no one's seeing you, they're just hearing you and you kind of disappear or whatever. You could bury a lot in a commercial break and in music, but being a fucking host on a TV show, nationally televised, you don't think that would be so easy to pinpoint? And I'm sorry, I tend to believe the coworkers who go, what are you talking about? I've been working
the
every
Megyn
day on
Kellys of
set.
the world.
The what?
The Megyn Kellys of the world,
Sure.
who she's like, I know him very well, and like, none of this is true. You know,
Yeah.
she sat down with him, went through every single allegation, and asked him about it, talked to him about it, let him respond.
Yeah.
And like, that's how you do it. You don't just, you know.
By the way, I you know, there are lines you can't cross, you know, if you're beating women and stuff. But this idea that you have, like, I don't even trust people who've never had a drop of alcohol. It's a little weird to me. Trump is like, it's just kind of
It
fucking
is weird. Yeah.
It's weird. Like, if you've never lived a little, like, how many military guys do you think that have gone to battle don't have some sort of like, hey, numbing the pain a little bit of what they've been through? Like, okay, you know, I know if you tried to disqualify every guy or girl that has you know, maybe got a little too sauced on a Friday night or you know, said something inappropriate at a bar, like, we've all done it. We've all you know, I'm not above that. I'm sure you guys aren't above that, where you haven't, like, everybody knows the feeling of, oh God, what did I say last night? Did I really tell her that? Or did I really tell that story? Or what the fuck was I thinking? Like, we all know that kind of embarrassing thing you did that you kind of regret and you hope to do better. Like, this idea of like, oh, I've heard from people that you like to drink too much. It's like, fuck off, man.
And do you commit to not drinking during the job, which, by the way, is a 24/7 job? Like, okay, calm down, lady.
Yeah.
And also the women who were getting all worked up about the things he said about women in the military. First of all, if you can't understand what he's saying, you're not qualified to have this conversation. Like, what his position is so reasonable. It is so reasonable. And like, you should under no circumstances lower the bar for women. like they have to carry the same pack as the dude does. So if the dude can't carry the pack and if a chick can't carry the pack, neither of them should be in the military, even regardless.
What
Like,
about the black guy that can't carry the pack? Should he get in though because he's black?
Yeah, exactly. And so it's like
absurd.
one of the ladies was like, you said that and she's like screaming at him and she's like, and you said that women shouldn't be, that is offensive. That hurts people's feelings. And it's like, hey lady, you're talking about military women who you want to be on the front line, who you're saying are just as capable as men of killing our enemy, and you're saying their feelings are hurt.
Yeah.
Really? You're kind of contradicting yourself. Contradicting yourself. Can they kill somebody or are their feelings hurt? Which one is it? Because if their feelings are hurt over some dude saying, I don't know that we should be sending moms into the Middle East to fight on the front lines. I don't know that that's a great idea.
That's an interesting one. The moms one. I'm interested to know, do you find any of that offensive, his comments over the years?
No.
I don't
Why would
either.
you want to do that as a mom, by the way?
Yeah, I don't know that many would. I don't
like
know.
I get having a military job, like a back office job, or like being in the military and being a mom, but being a mom and going to fight on the front lines in Iraq or something, like what?
Yeah.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah, and to act like this, like, how could anybody even have these feelings? How could you think women aren't just as capable as men on the battlefield? What kind of Neanderthal am I talking? Like, really? You're going to pretend you don't know what we're talking about?
Right.
That's what we're going to pretend right now. There's a reason there's not many women in the NFL. There's a reason. Like, we don't have to pretend like, well, I can do anything a man can do, including being a guard on the Detroit Lions. No, you cannot.
No, you can't.
No,
you can't.
Literally.
And by the way, like they will kidnap you and rape you and do all those things to American women. Like they will torture you if they capture you.
But their feelings.
But there hurts my feelings when you say that I shouldn't do that. And by the way, there is something to be said. And I know nobody wants to actually acknowledge this because people want to believe that people can set their sexual feelings aside and yada, yada, yada. But I got news for you. These are people who don't, there's a few chicks to a whole lot of men. And there is stuff that happens and that is a distraction.
Yeah, there's
and I know you don't want to admit that, but it is a distraction.
No, there's a reason why the Navy got the gay tag, and it's because they're the ones who are tied to the boats most of the time, and they're not on land where they can go fraternize around with the population.
Yeah. So they just put a bunch of dudes.
Yeah, exactly. Because they're all together. What else?
I know absolutely from talking to a couple military guys about this very thing, and they are adamant about it that no, dude, what happens when you have a chick join and go through the testing and maybe they pass? It is not 5 minutes before one of these absolute killers, one of these alpha dogs is fucking that girl. 100%. It's just like 100% of the time without fail. Yeah. And it is what it is. You have a room full of absolute fucking killers, gangsters, the hardest dudes on earth, all in a room with no other women around. How long do you think before that? And then you're sending some chick home because, like that's just like, and it
like
makes
remember
when
the military they were getting pregnant uniforms for like their military pilots, and it's like. Wait, what? Like, what? I don't know. Like, maybe, like, I don't even think I could go on a European cruise if I was pregnant, let alone fly a military jet. Like, what are we doing?
No, it's just this idea that you can't have that open conversation. Like, I absolutely believe there is nothing but truth in the statement. Like, women have a different set of skills and the compassion necessary in the field, dressing wounds in battle, like no doubt about
talking to women, talking to the women of the village and getting information out of that, super valuable, right? Like the women are going to talk to women and over the men, 100%. Like there is value to that. I totally get it. But
There's
like
just something.
SEAL Team 6 going in to get Osama, I don't know. I don't know that I want a chick on that, to be totally honest with you.
I know, and it sounds sexist. Like obviously you're a self-hating woman, Amy, who hates women. But it just seems like it should be fair to have that discussion. Like we've all seen, like there's a reason for having separation of men and women in virtually every aspect of life up until like a week ago. Like that was just the norm. You had women's branches and men's branches. Well, why? Well, it's not because we hate this group of people. It's because we all know, if we're being reasonable, that if you stick a fully capable man and a fully capable woman in a ring together, the odds are not going to be in the woman's favor that she's going to beat the shit out of him. It's just not going to happen.
Right.
It doesn't mean she's not smarter. She's not. It's just basic science. It's I didn't choose the way this plays out.
Yeah.
I didn't design the system the way it is, but I can acknowledge it. I can acknowledge it that, you can have, the fastest, most capable woman on earth. You don't want her as your wide receiver. I can promise you that. Like,
exactly.
Not to be a dick about it.
Totally. And it's like, I don't know. I guess if you can, under no circumstances should any qualifications to be a firefighter or in the army or anything be lowered for women. That just flat out, like, you should have to do absolutely what the men do, because guess what? You are going to have to do what the men do. The job doesn't change because you're a woman. There's going to be, if 2 women firefighters showed up to my house and my husband was stuck in the bedroom and I was like, oh my God, someone has to go get him. And 2 women roll up, I'd be like, okay, well,
okay, now what?
Yeah. You got and that's no offense to women firefighters. I'm sure there's great ones, but I'd be a little taken aback by that.
You wouldn't believe him until they carried him out.
Yeah. I'd be like, okay, well, he's dead. 70-30, he's dead.
And you're talking about things, why? So people might go, why do you even care about this? It's such a small fraction of people. It doesn't matter. Why are you worried about, trans boys or trans women in girls sports? Or why are you worried about women firefighters? This is such a fractional. It's like, yeah, but you're talking about things that in the moment when you can't have error, when you need that, like it can be life or death. When you're talking about these wildfires in California right now, like life and death moment, it's your loved one, your mother, your father who's elderly that can't get out of that bed. And it's like, no, you want that fucking dude showing up that you think of as the stereotypical calendar fucking firefighter guy. You want that hulk of a human being that is 3 times the man I'll ever be. It is is twice as big, is shredded, is young. Like that's the guy you want showing up. That's going to carry 200 pounds out of in a deadlift out of a burning building. Like,
exactly.
That's no offense to anybody. It's not an offense to I don't take offense to that. Like, you don't want me hiking up those stairs with 70 pounds of pack on my back and then grabbing another grown human being. Like, no.
Right.
I had a perfect example of this just yesterday. We were delivering some fire extinguishers to the fire department, Detroit Fire Department. And they sent a guy out to help me unload them. They're like, yeah, we're going to send one of our guys. He'll help you unload all this stuff. The guy they sent me was a literal gorilla. And I never felt safer in my life. I was like, oh, this guy could punch the fucking door down and get me.
Yeah.
That's who I want.
Right.
He looked like he looks like he eats metal.
Yeah. No, when we would do events and we were lucky enough to have the Crack Brothers show up a couple times. Carrot Hole, exactly. The Carrot Hole brothers showed up, and
that was so damn funny.
I know, so fucking funny. Jesus is such a retard. They're just built different as human beings. When you look at them, you go, "Oh yeah, that guy's a cop, and that guy's a Marine," and you just you know it when you see it. You recognize it, and you go, yeah, those are the ones that you go to bed at night and you sleep and you go, yeah. It goes back to Jack Nicholson. You want me on that wall. You need me on that wall. It's like, yeah, I got 5,000 Cubans trained to kill me. You're like, there is a picture in your head, and it's not Sally. No offense. It's not Sally sitting on that wall, it's not the fire chief in fucking New Orleans. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
not.
And it's like, or like that that woman Secret Service member when Trump got shot, who I'm sure is
Pat.
great, but like she was the one standing in front of him, and
Yeah.
she's a head shorter than he is. His whole
Yeah,
head's
of course.
exposed.
Yeah.
And it's
yeah.
like, I don't know that you're the best one to have that role.
Yeah. No,
And that's
it seems
okay.
it's no offense. She could be very competent at her job. It looks silly. It looks silly.
Yeah, it was
Like
ridiculous.
your protectee is towering over you by a foot. And that's
his
the
head that
reality.
he just got shot at is open season to
Yeah.
anybody. Like, what?
Yeah, you stand on your tiptoes. You might get to his chin. Like you're not. This isn't like you see that fucking Hulk of a man behind Trump. Can we move him to the front
Right.
so we don't have a clear
exactly.
headshot on him? Can we do that
Yeah.
at least?
Like, whose brilliant idea was it to put the midget in front of Trump?
Yeah, it's just crazy. I think that it's coming to an end with a lot of this stuff. These wildfires with DEI hires and stuff, and the list of companies that are like, okay, enough of this bullshit.
Yeah.
What's that?
And I'll just say, for people who object to every time something happens, the right saying, "Oh, DEI hire, DEI hire."
Yeah.
If that hurts your feelings, you should want to get rid of DEI, because the existence of DEI is why people think that. Because
Yeah.
if there wasn't DEI initiatives, people would just think that person got their job on their merits and they fucked up.
Yeah.
But now in this world where that's not the case, and it's kind of like the Rooney Rule in the NFL, and I know you've talked about this for years, but like ESPN, Mina Kimes has just been bitching up a storm because the Patriots knew they wanted to hire Mike Vrabel, but they had to interview a few black guys to satisfy the Rooney Rule, and they were all offended by that. Oh, they just brought him in there because they knew they weren't going to hire him, and it's like, yeah, that's what happens when you have the Rooney Rule. If you didn't have the Rooney Rule, they could have just brought in Mike Vrabel. And been done with it, but they had to play this game. And so, and if that coach would have been hired, you would say, well, did they get that job on their merits, or did they get it because they're a diversity hire? And so when you have these programs, that's why people question it. So if that bothers you, you should want to get rid of DEI and go to a straight meritocracy.
I don't know how people don't see how obvious that is. Ketanji Brown Jackson is a great example. When you have this retarded, senile old man going, we're going to hire a woman and a black one at that to be, and it's like, okay, well, you just took 95% of people out of the running. So what used to be like, holy shit, these people are the best of the best of the best. They're 1 of 100, right? When you're talking about 100% of the people, these are the 1% that get here. So you've taken 95% of that elite group, thrown it away, and been like, at best, you would be stuck going, well, she's the best of this 5% of random group to choose from.
Yeah.
So how you don't see, like I said at the time, I wish he didn't tell us that there was some criteria for that. And people would still debate because DEI exists if this was fully merit-based. But when you come out and say, it's time we had a woman and a black woman at that on the Supreme Court, it's like, okay, well, you just made it shitty for her because now everybody's going to go, oh, you just got hand plucked because of the color of your skin and what's between your legs to sit in this seat.
Yeah.
It's just dumb as shit.
Yeah.
Seeing the celebrities come out against Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass is
so
it's about time. What do you make it? Are you finding it hard not to just go, yeah, well, sorry, folks, I don't know what to tell you in LA. I mean, you keep voting for these people.
Yeah. And boy, is it going to get worse because, their incompetence caused this, but their incompetence is going to make it a whole lot worse when these people try to rebuild. I mean, they're not going to be able to, and it's going to get so much worse. And it's so crazy, like how fast things have turned from, the beginning of last year. It seemed like it was just like Trump was taking L after L after L, and I'm not trying to make this about Trump or anything. I have a point to this, but And, it was like they were talking about Newsom replacing Biden, and Newsom was at just like the top of his game. He's trying to just salvage his political career at this point. I don't even know with the way he's handled this if he's going to be a candidate in 2028.
No,
well, these are people that, we could pull up video of name the talking head, whether that's on CNN or The View, talking about Stormy Daniels' lawyer, and like,
Avenatti. He needs to run for president.
Yeah, he needs to. This is the guy we need running our country. Yeah. Like, these are the same people that think that. Michael Rapaport, who's never shut up. He's kind of leaning. He's kind of getting red pilled over the whole Gaza Israel shit.
Oh yeah, and he was so anti-Trump, and now he voted. I guarantee he voted for Trump.
I think he did too. But it's kind of like you want to cheer on the comments, but at the same time, his comments today on Twitter make me go, oh, so all the times that people like Amy or me or Garrett or name someone else said these exact same things, and you called us racist, sexist, bigoted, hateful, all those things you knew were true. In fact, you didn't even believe the shit you were saying, because now you come out and you just sound like a fucking, what would be deemed a MAGA Trumper. And it's like, yeah, a lot of you guys are saying the things that we were all saying years ago about your inept leadership. It was obvious to see from all the way across the country. Yeah. To see what was important to you, what you were focused on, the videos you kept putting out as promotion for your town, which I talked about, Garrett, and I talked about yesterday. It's great. It's all fine and well when everything's going great. It's like, when they're just in charge of making your coffee for you. Okay, fine. Yeah. I'll put up with the pronoun wearing fucking purple haired idiot making my coffee. Okay, we'll play this game. But when it comes down to life and death issues, and ineptitude wins out, people aren't going to like it when their house is burned to the ground and they're staring down years to rebuild. I don't know that you can.
And imagine how frustrating that must be to know that, your budget for DEI initiatives has just skyrocketed, but your budget for more people, more firefighters, more equipment, more,
reservoirs
stuff that can actually help you do your job, that's cut dramatically. Like that's must be very frustrating to people. Yeah. And it's also, I kind of object, like they're really trying to say that this just started in someone's backyard.
Yeah, bullshit.
That is like the biggest load of bullshit I've ever heard in my life.
I don't know that we'll ever get, and I'll read you Michael Rapaport's comments here in a second, but I don't know that we'll ever get to the bottom. It's kind of amazing we don't have more Ring video of what's going on. This, because you'd think it'd be easy if it was like, oh yeah, there were Santa Ana winds that came in at 90, 100 miles an hour, knocked over some telephone poles, and it sparked, and neighborhoods went up. This almost seems like intentional, that things were set to torch this city. I don't know. I don't know that we'll ever know, but there's too much video out there of people intentionally starting fires, whether
you're
this is
speaking my language.
Yeah.
And,
I bet.
What's going on here, and this is where my little community is coming up, is that a lot of the big conglomerate companies are thinking that the price of living in California is getting a little too high and they want to lower the rent a little bit. So burn it all to the ground and rebuild it with their own businesses. Companies like BlackRock, Raytheon, those guys. Usual players. It's the same thing they did in Hawaii.
Let's listen to the comments from Gavin Newsom.
Olympics.
Yeah. As if they're going to be able to host the Olympics in 4 years. How are they going to do that? Because you have to literally build a city.
Yeah.
To accommodate the Olympics. I don't know how you pull that off in 4 years.
The land's really cheap right now.
You start with burning it all down.
Yeah, the land is really cheap.
Then you've got all this open land and you can build a city rather quickly.
I would think you would do that in I don't know that you do that in Malibu, Santa Monica, and Pacific Palisades, though.
You might. You might rebuild the houses, though.
Those are the places where the people with the voice and the money live.
Yeah.
Like there are other areas in LA you could do that, and then you would just have those fucking brown people that don't have a platform. Like, and it'd be sad, and it'd be LA strong, and we'd be rooting for them. You don't want all of celebrity Hollywood with being the victims like that. That's the part where you go, well, if you were going to do it, I mean, unless this is just, well, you got 150,000 homeless people that believe in eat the rich and can't get housing there and are like, fuck it, burn it all to the ground.
Yeah, they can afford to rebuild it.
Yeah, maybe you have some of that. Do we have Gavin
saying.
Newsom's comments? I'm interested in your take on what Gavin said yesterday, which has got a lot of people up in arms today.
Oh yeah, I saw this.
We're dealing with a myriad of issues. I was just talking to Josh Green, the governor of down in Hawaii, who had some ideas around some land use concerns he has around speculators coming in, buying up properties and the like. So we're already working with our legal teams to move those things forward, and we'll be presenting those. And we're dealing with a myriad of issues.
Yeah,
that's what I mean with the BlackRock and stuff. Like, the land's really cheap right now. You get your buddies in there, and I know
it's not their land though.
No, but now it's nobody's land. A lot of those buildings and businesses are never going to rebuild, so you can take entire squares of LA and put whatever you want in them.
So what is he saying there? Because it sounds like what they're doing in Hawaii. Like, that was a test case in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Like, burn it all down and then give them a check for $700 and
Yeah.
Did he say the quiet part out loud?
I had to listen to that a few times because I was like, what is he trying to say here?
Yeah.
Like, because I was like, there's no way he's actually saying that.
Right.
You know, like, I was like, he's not actually saying, he's like trying to facilitate that process along. Like, did he misspeak? But honestly, I think that's given him way too much credit. I don't think that.
Is it possible what he meant was people have said this is a process that someone would do, and so now we're getting our legal team on it to make sure that doesn't happen.
That's what I thought at first, but then as I listened to it more, it was like the way he said it, it's like to move that along more quickly. Like, I don't know, it was weird how he said that. That's what I thought he was trying to say, but I don't think that's what he said.
Do you notice a couple conservative people, if you will, I do that in air quotes too, even entertaining the thought that maybe that's not what he meant, like at least giving him that?
Yeah.
Can you imagine on the other side, would they give Trump that kind of grace?
Oh,
and like,
hell no.
Hell no.
No.
I'm not interested in burying Gavin Newsom any more than he's already buried himself. And is it possible? I'm trying to be as fair as I can be. Let's watch the clip one more time. Is it possible, take it into the context of like, no, we will do everything we can to prevent that. These are obviously the homes of our
but like, also then if
Angelinos.
you did misspeak, don't you put something out, a statement like, hey, I said something earlier and it came across wrong. This is what I actually meant to say.
Yeah.
Like if you really messed up.
Let's
just talking to Josh Green, the governor of down in Hawaii, who had some ideas around some land use concerns he has around speculators coming in, buying up properties and the like. So we're already working with our legal teams to move those things forward, and we'll be presenting those. And we're dealing with them.
Seems almost happy that there's a lot of destruction in his city.
What does he mean by speculator? What is that? What does he mean by that? Speculator.
Just people thinking about buying up the land.
Speculators coming in.
A person who invests in stocks, property, or other ventures in the hope of making a profit.
Yep.
That's the definition.
Okay. So obviously a house, you know, a lot that has a $10 million home on it, which would be cheap for Malibu and reasonable for Santa Monica or Pacific Palisades, would have a value of pennies on the dollar, if that, when you torch it all.
Yeah.
So if that's what he means by speculators coming in and buying a whole neighborhood for, you know, $50 million, like, is that what he's talking about? Like, we're looking into that.
That is what he's talking about. Like, but the way he started it out when he said he has concerns about speculators, I'm like, okay, so there's a concern around it, right? But then he says, so we're trying to like move it forward as quick as possible, and it's like, so it's not a concern. I don't know. It was weird.
Yeah. It's weird. I can't imagine the people there. There were a lot of stories towards the end of the year about insurance companies bailing and not insuring places. And there's a lot of people that don't have insurance.
Which is
And
crazy.
Crazy. But there's if you've got land there and you can't get insurance that doesn't cost you $5,000 a month, and you're like, that's one thing if you're Mel Gibson. It's another thing if you're just, average citizen living in a house that was handed down to you from your parents who got it from their grandparents. Like, that's a big difference. And what do you do to those people that are now standing there on the corner with literally the clothes on their back? They weren't even able to grab their toothbrush and toiletries. And now you offer them $1 million for their $10 million property. Like, that's disgusting if that's what they're talking about. But we're seeing that take place in Hawaii.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what's going on in Hawaii. So
yeah, it's crazy. I mean,
I was going to
it
say,
is so crazy.
do you think those people really care about the disenfranchised man who just had a generational house he's holding on to?
No.
Yeah, they don't. They'll give him $1 million and tell him, go fuck yourself. That's what you get, or you get out.
Won't it be hard, though, if there's a way to tell that guy to go fucking pound sand, you don't care, whatever, that's fine, but you can't do that to the celebrities. And there's enough celebrities who have lost everything that are also going to be standing in those lines.
But those celebrities are able to up and relocate so quick that I'm sure a lot of them who don't agree with California politics or don't want to go with the status quo are already on their way to Austin right now.
Maybe, but they're not going to want to give up their property. They like being in Malibu. They like being in the Palisades. They like being in Santa Monica. They just do. They don't want to be. I don't know.
Do they like it when there's nothing there?
I don't. Yeah, you're right. But I don't know that you can just like take care of them and give them a fair deal here in regard to this fire situation, and then fuck over the.
Oh, I think they'd pay the celebrities what theirs is worth because they know that they have a platform to put them on blast. If they didn't, it's the like Garrett said, it's the common man, it's Joe Schmo. That was a stupid word, but it's the normal people who they're the ones that are going to get boned over and get pennies on the dollar. And it's fucking crazy. It's so crazy.
Well, let me read Michael Rapaport's comments today.
Yeah.
You thought you were going to be president. You're never, ever, ever going to be president. Gavin with the good hair. I don't care how slicked back it is. Little Nancy Pelosi's little nephew. Gavin with the good hair. You have overseen two of the most important cities in California, and you've ran them, nosedived them into the ground. San Francisco is apocalyptic. I've been there. I've seen it with my own eyes. You ran that gorgeous, iconic, totally unique American city into the ground. It's a dump pot, a cesspool. Gavin with the good hair Newsom, a.k.a. Nancy's nephew, blew it. There's no learning curve. And you turned LA, you let Los Angeles turn into a dump hole also, calling the city dirty and full of homeless people. The crime, the catch and release in California, and now the LA fires you were woefully and pathetically unprepared for, and you keep talking. We need to learn from our mistakes. Get the fuck out of here. There's no more mistakes from you. You're done. Let's see. Patricia Heaton called out Newsom and Karen Bass. We have a mayor who cut the budget of the fire department in California by over 17 mil. Fire is the biggest hazard in Los Angeles. Why would you cut that budget? There was no water in the fire hydrants in the Palisades. The people running the show just decimated California. Drugs, homelessness, mentally ill people on the streets, crime, taxes. What do you pay all these taxes for to see your neighborhood go up in smoke? It's enraging. They took one of the most beautiful states, maybe the most beautiful state in the union, and just continue to destroy it. Gavin Newsom standing there with his hands in his pockets. I really feel for everybody there. So you all saw what we saw then. You didn't just come up with these storylines overnight about Gavin Newsom, about these people. Right. Some of us, Amy, and you know it to be true, have been saying this exact diatribe about what's been going on in California for years.
Yep. Yeah, but the Orange Man said it.
Right.
So that's bad. Orange Man bad.
It's insane. you're going to get more and more of these people coming out and saying this stuff too.
Oh yeah.
And
yeah.
you know,
I mean,
the times have changed. I mean, you saw Coca-Cola gave Trump his own Diet Coke.
Oh, really? That's hilarious.
They
yeah,
you know,
God, times really have changed.
I mean, this is remarkable. He got a special gift last night, presidential commemorative inaugural Diet Coke bottle.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Now he just needs his own Big Mac.
Yeah, I think there's
his own McDonald's meal.
Yeah, totally. Can you imagine?
Yeah, but they do that with like athletes and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they're doing it with
musicians.
like rappers.
Yeah.
This James, let's see here. Trump's deputy director of communications posted the photo. Do you have a photo? You can pull it up there, Garrett, if you see it.
Yeah, right here.
A photo of Quincy and Trump. Quincy being James Quincy, the chairman of CEO.
Look at Trump.
Yeah.
He's just happy. He is
Taking
just
shit.
so happy.
Yep. Look at that. Can you imagine when we were going through the Bud Light stuff? Like with that fucking idiot in the bathtub.
Yeah.
Like
Joe
to
Mulvaney.
this.
Yeah.
James Quincy owes President Trump and the American people an apology for attacking election integrity in 21, rallying corporate America against voter ID laws, pushing for Congress to federalize elections. Coca-Cola condemned the January 6th dust-up. At the U.S. Capitol in a statement posted the day after the incident. For nearly 250 years, the United States has stood as a beacon for democracy, shining a light for the world on how differing perspectives and ideas can strengthen society. We are all stunned by the unlawful and violent offense that unfolded in D.C. With the election results now certified, we have faith in America's institutions to ensure a peaceful transfer of power and allow the U.S. to move forward together as one nation. Fuck off. Yeah, as you're all kissing the ring now. Fucking hilarious. I think there's a missed opportunity there for a Hunter Biden Coke edition, though. You know what I mean? Like if you're doing the commemorative, commemorative Coke bottles.
Yeah.
But, we'll go out on this. But it's interesting. Like you wouldn't have dreamed even 6 months ago that Coca-Cola would come out and be seen anywhere near Donald Trump. A commemorative bottle would be out of the question. I don't think you're going to see major league sports teams taking a knee on showing up to the White House this time around when they win a championship. I think that's out the window.
Oh, Detroit would run there so fast. Are you kidding me? Dan
Oh, yeah.
Campbell is going to be so pumped to meet Trump.
Yeah. I think we're going to go back to kind of that sanity of like, no, respect the office. You will go there and guys will be excited. You weren't seeing guys getting murdered online and social media for doing the Trump dance celebration, stuff like that.
You know who's been an incredible turnaround is Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah.
I mean, he was saying the dumbest shit during George Floyd. Like the dumbest shit ever.
Yeah.
Almost like unlistenable because he was so unbearable.
Yeah.
And now lives in Florida. He was on Dave Rubin. Is it Dave Rubin's podcast?
Hannity, he did. Hannity.
Yeah, he's a good. Yeah, him and Hannity are like besties. But he said on Dave Rubin's podcast the other day, he's like, and he's always reiterating he didn't vote for Trump, which makes me feel like he did vote for Trump. Because he's always saying he didn't, and like he feels the need to have to say that. But he's like, oh, I gotta say, I didn't vote for the guy, but I'm not disappointed that he won. And it's like
a lot of people feel that way.
Yeah. It wasn't too long ago, Stephen A., that you were crying about that guy, and
Well, I think it's not a small thing that Coca-Cola puts this commemorative thing out. Like corporate America was going down this road where you wouldn't dare anything on the right. Carrie Underwood is playing at Trump's inauguration.
Yep.
The fact of the matter is that you had Ricky from Silver Spoons and Scott Baio as your celebrity representation for a long fucking time.
Yeah.
And Carrie Underwood wouldn't dream of performing at Trump's inauguration. Kid Rock is also performing at that. And I immediately texted Fran, Jason Krause's wife. I texted Jason too, and I haven't heard back from him yet. It turns out they're in rehearsals. And I wanted to know, down in Nashville. I wanted to know, is Twisted Brown Trucker going to be there, or is this going to be another situation where it's just Kid Rock, with a DJ or something, which I did not want to see. And Fran was like, "Oh no, they're in rehearsals. Twisted Brown Trucker is going to be there."
Hell yeah.
And which I thought was fucking awesome. I'm working on getting Jason on to talk about that. Yeah.
Awesome.
He's not crazy about talking about a lot of I'm like, I focus on guitars and music and shit.
Yeah.
Doing the whole blowjob Kid Rock band thing. Like, he's not crazy about that shit, which I get. Totally get.
Yeah.
To me, that's a really special event, doing a historical event like that. If you're doing the Super Bowl, if you're doing an inauguration, that's big stuff.
Yeah, there haven't been that many inaugurations in the history of the country.
Yeah.
I told you that Jason and
Yeah.
my sister, my oldest sisters, went to school together, right? Yeah, so like they
did
know
they?
Jason really well. And Jason has gotten us
Jason's
tickets
awesome.
and backstage. And I just remember when
Yeah.
we were going to like party in Kid Rock's room, it was right after he got married to Pam Anderson. And I just remember him saying to us, like, okay, we're going to be around Kid Rock, we're going to be around Pam Anderson, but like, just like try to be cool. Like, don't ask for pictures, don't ask for autographs. Cause like kind of what you're saying, like he's not, like,
Yeah.
this is just a normal dude,
Yeah. He's as normal as they come. He's a dad and he's, super fun to talk to and hang out with. But he's not really into the whole thing. And, if I wasn't reaching out to him in like the inauguration thing, he'd come on tomorrow to talk music, guitars. But, I'll have to set the table carefully because, but yeah, I thought that was really cool. I don't know if that news is out there. I didn't see anything about it, but Twisted Brown Trucker will be a part of that, which is very cool. So, anyway, let's do an email or so and get on out of here. And Garrett and I will be back tomorrow, and then we'll do a show Friday as well. What were you going to say, Garrett? You look like you
we
got
got any
something
reads
to say.
for today?
Oh yeah, we should probably do. We should probably do
looking
one
up
of those.
the reads too. I got a couple questions from the fans. Lynn wants to know, Amy, where did you get that sweater?
Oh, this is a couple years ago, Lynn. I think I got it from the Detroit versus Everybody clothing company. But it was when they got boned by the refs in one of the games, and they put out Detroit versus the refs sweatshirts. So that's right.
Oh, after Dallas?
Yeah, it was either Dallas or
did you say
there was another game where we got boned pretty hard.
Yeah.
Green. I think it was.
Is that Detroit versus Everybody?
This says Detroit versus the refs, but it's a Detroit versus like Everybody.
Yeah, brand.
Yeah.
Brand. I love the Detroit versus Everybody stuff. It doesn't get old.
Also asked how come the episode with Drew wasn't in his feed, because I also noticed it wasn't in my feed either. Yeah, so maybe
really? Like for Normal World.
This was after Normal World. He did a little private episode with Drew. That's been.
Oh yeah, I saw that on Twitter. I watched it on X.
Okay.
That's where I watched that. Wait, where did I watch that? Was it on X or was it on YouTube?
Probably on my X.
Yeah, that's where I watched it. I think I watched it on your X, that show that you did, or on YouTube, one of the two. But it definitely wasn't in my podcast feed. I watched it online.
Well, I was in a hotel in Dallas, and I just did it through Restream on my iPad. So I wasn't using this, and usually, I bet usually after how this goes is after the show, I write something up and then I tell Ron to load it. So I bet I never told Ron to load it.
It's
he
still
might
right
not
here
even
on your
be aware
Twitter
it
if you
happened.
need it.
Yeah, that's where. Yep, that's where I watched it.
You know what? That's probably on me. I just counting on Ron to be aware of shit. He obviously wasn't. He doesn't care. So he clearly dropped the ball on this one.
Ron's fault.
Ron's fault for sure. But yeah, that was not done on purpose, folks. I apologize for that. I will it'll be a little old now, but certainly worth hearing Drew and I hang out for an hour. I heard from people that really enjoyed it. So I will tell Ron to post that. That one's on me. Was there another one?
Yep.
Are you good? Okay. Deer Lake Athletic Club in Clarkston has a full gym, fitness classes, 3 pools, swim lessons, tennis, pickleball, childcare, and more. Currently offering half off their initiation fee and personal training discounts. The Backcourt Restaurant inside Deer Lake Athletic Club has weekly specials like Taco Tuesday, Quizzo every Wednesday, along with a burger special, kids meals for $5 on Thursdays, live entertainment Fridays and Saturdays, breakfast on Sundays from 10 till 1 with a Bloody Mary bar and bottomless mimosas. They offer a special Sunday menu after 1 o'clock. Need to book an event? The banquet director, Emily, can fill you in on all the specials. Call 248-625-8686 or stop in at 6167 White Lake Road in Clarkston, or you can go visit their website, deerlakeathletic.com, for more info. One club for the whole family. Go Lions. That's their words, not mine. All right, let's do an email or two and call it a day, and then we'll be back tomorrow. James writes, I'm proud of you. Good job trying some crab shit. Now I'll accept that you don't like it. Glad you didn't die, even though that had been funny. Yeah, that would have been hilarious if that would have taken me out. Little taste of crab meat. Until all the stars and libtards burn with their houses, it's not enough. Californians are eating it up and begging for more. It's TDS on roids. Yeah, you're going to have people that feel that way.
Yeah.
That California has been very vocal and in your face about a lot of things that a lot of people think don't make much sense. So you're going to have to put up with some people that are playing the smallest violin in the history of the world.
And like Mandy Moore putting out a GoFundMe. Like, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Drew was talking about it today, I think, about Spencer Pratt and Heidi Montag, using it to promote
her
a
song.
14-year-old song. Of
At
her,
least in that situation,
to raise
it's
money.
like, at least you're saying, hey, go listen to her song because it's going to put money in our pockets. Like that, to me, is like, okay, that's something that if you really truly had it in your heart that you wanted to help them, I suppose that's one way that you could help them, right? She's already put this song out there.
Well,
and if you listen to it, it's support them. But like Mandy Moore, you were on one of the biggest TV shows of recent history.
Yeah.
Presumably can figure it out. Like to just put out a GoFundMe is crazy.
Yeah. A GoFundMe for celebrities is a bit wild. I think Drew has a point in that if you're trying to raise money on fucking listens on Spotify, you'll need that in the billions before it. Like they just pay such fractional garbage. You're better off doing a GoFundMe in that case because no one wants to listen to her shitty song anyways. And you would have to generate so many listens before that turned into real money. So I don't know. This guy, Kevin, writes, so my endocrinologist put me on Mounjaro and being a type 1 diabetic, he didn't think it would have worked, but to his and my surprise, my insurance approved it. And man, I've been on it for 3 months. I'm down 35 pounds, still losing. And my sugars have been awesome. My endocrinologist was telling me that in Sweden, you can get it over the counter. Crazy that other countries are a lot different than our crooked healthcare system. As you were, Kevin, a former Michigan native, now in Florida. Yeah, Kevin, I think Garrett and I will touch on the insurance industry a little bit tomorrow. I'll try to remember your email for then, but yeah, Mounjaro, I'm in it with new insurance that started Jan 1. That drug, I haven't lost any weight on that yet. I dropped a bunch of weight before that, but that drug has literally leveled my blood sugars, and now they're going to make it difficult to get, which sucks. So we'll see how that plays out, but we'll get into that stuff and more tomorrow. Amy, thank you so much for being here. I don't know what you're doing the rest of the week. Yeah. I don't know if you're busy. Maybe we'll do another one.
All right.
Okay, perfect. Garrett, thank you, buddy. I will see you tomorrow. And thank you all for listening.